You can do it. If you can win 2 World Cups, you can come hang out with Rog. America!
Yes!
America! My! If you can win 2 World Cups, you can hang out with Rog.
Oh, absolutely. I'm glad the technology worked out.
Oh, America, that's it. Elon Musk, I just have to say that name, and then everything goes all right. Welcome to the Wednesday Budweiser Happy Hour on Instagram Live. This series began with Budweiser wanting to encourage people to check in on each other. So here we are, checking in over a Bud. Oh, me having a first serve Bud of the day with one of the greatest characters, one of my heroes in the American game, the short sleeve slayer, the leader of the nerd squad, 2-time World Cup winner, tenacity and humility personified from your Portland Thorns. Wow, it's nice to say that. And World Cup winning US women's national team, an old friend, the love child of Ruth Bader Ginsburg and Virgil van Dijk. It's the people's captain. Oh, it's Becky Sauerbrunn. Wahoo wah.
Cheers to you, Roger. Thanks for having me on.
Oh my God, I am so happy to see you are the burst of energy, the presence that America needs right now. Let's dive right in, Becky. We raise our beer at a time of challenge, time of chaos. The US women's national team, a team who win everything in reality and in my imagination, are grappling with a devastating legal decision on Friday. US District Court judge rejected the US women's national team's claims of gender discrimination, ruling in favour of US Soccer, who've maintained that their women's team has not been underpaid. I'm just neutral on this. Judge R. Gary Klausner wrote in his decision that members of the US women's national team agreed to the CBA under the current pay structure and that they didn't prove this. You won too much, essentially. You played games. You made a big mistake of winning those games, making more money than the blokes who left $22 million on the table. That's just me editorializing. But tell us where you were when you heard this decision and your take on it, Becky.
Well, I was pretty close to where I am right now, and I got a text message from Sam Mewis. It was for me, Kelly, and Sam, so it's a little group chat that we have, and she just wrote something like, so does that mean we lost? And to me, I'm thinking, like, that's clearly a mistake. She didn't mean to send that to us. So I'm like, what are you talking about? And she's like, check your email. And then I checked, and there was an email from our lawyers saying that, surprisingly and very disappointingly, the judge sided with U.S. Soccer when it came to our equal play claim. And so, I mean, shocked, absolutely shocked. We all got on a call and we were just blown away. Our lawyers were saying they were as surprised as they ever been in practicing law.
You've got to get Better Call Saul on the case. What happens now? I mean, what, in your opinion, is the judge's thinking? Where is that in your thinking? And what is the path forward for the Federation and the US women's national team leadership?
Well, from reading his decision, he seemed, like you said, that he was stuck on a few things. One, that we actually made more money than the men during the relevant period of time. What he doesn't really take into consideration is that we played in a lot more games. We were in camp together a lot more. And it's frustrating because that it makes it feel like we have to do 2 jobs, and we also have to outperform our male counterparts to even be in the same like range as the men. So that's frustrating.
Play and more, win more.
Yeah. And then also for the actual CBA argument, like we were never offered the men's contract. They gave us an option for a pay to play, but for every win bonus, it was significantly decreased compared to the men. And so there were, in some cases, some of their proposals, we were going to be making less than we were at the current time. And so it's frustrating. We're obviously going to appeal the decision because we feel very strongly that it's incorrect. And so that's the next steps for us. We're going to appeal.
Oh, God, I love the comment. She's so smart. I could listen to her all day, says America. So give us one more word of wisdom before we dive down into the just complete idiocy of my questions and some really chef's kiss questions from the GFOPs. What, in your opinion, is the path forward now for the US women and US soccer? What is the next step in the imagination of Becky Sauerbrunn?
I mean, the most ideal situation would be that they offer us equal pay going forward and we can agree and this be just settled and done. And I don't think either of us wanted to have to go to trial and really like put everything out there. And so I think coming together, finding some sort of resolution, but we can't agree to something that like we are convicted that we are owed and worthy of. And so that's the struggle right now. We see ourselves in one light and they see us in another light.
I mean, I hope you are right, because equality is coming. There's no doubt in my mind equality is coming. All that matters is whether you're on the right side or the wrong side when it does come. But also, to me, the US women's national team, they're not just winners in their own right on the field and please God soon off it. They're pathfinders for all women athletes in every sport around the world. So this decision, it matters more than just for this current crop of footballers. It matters for all women footballers going forward. But in my mind, all women athletes around the globe are watching this.
Yeah, 100%. And I think a lot of us who have gone into this fight, we know that we're continuing a fight that the women before us started. And so a lot of whatever we do get in the next CBA or in a settlement or whatever, like a lot of us aren't going to be the ones that benefit from it. It's going to be the women that come after us. And so we're doing it not for us, but we're for the women that come after, but also for just women in general in any marketplace who are trying to get paid what they deserve. And so, yeah, we hope that our fight resonates. And now that we've kind of hit this like stumbling block, I think a lot of how we react to it and to show the world that we're not going anywhere. We're going to continue this fight however we can. And we hope that that really resonates to everybody, that we're still in this fight.
Question from a GFOP at Doc J Tav. Becky, who came up with the brilliant idea of wearing the jerseys inside out as a sign of unity? Take us in there. Tell us the story, Becky.
I mean, honestly, like that worked out so well, but a group of on the team, you can consider them the leadership. They had gotten the idea, I believe, from the WNBA because they had done a similar protest. And when we got into the actual stadium, and we didn't know what it was going to look like, but when we actually did flip the practice training, the practice jersey inside out, I mean, the crestless badge with the 4 stars, like honestly, like we couldn't have written that any better. And so it was definitely a decision by leadership, and we made sure the whole team felt comfortable with it because we try to be as democratic as possible. But everyone was really into it, and really like it was a very, I think, striking visual protest.
So when you say team leadership, I'm reading in, you mean Emily Sonnet, because she is the global puppet master. To the
Completely.
football, March 3rd, 2020, life-changing, league-changing move for you. Oh, Becky Sauerbrunn from Utah to Portland. Becky Sauerbrunn, Thorn, what an amazing phrase together. I mean, a dream move, 20,000 plus fans, the Rose City Riveters, mighty Lindsay Horan, Harlem Globetrotters, Tobin Heath, Christine Sinclair, a Canadian who eats goals like I eat poutine. How is it mentally for you to have made the move and now have to wait indefinitely to pull on that red and black?
It's wild to me because I, in my professional career, have never asked for a trade. I've never been traded, have always kind of stayed with the same organization. So for me to actually ask for the trade, I think was really surprising even to myself. But to actually be
when you said the words, were you like shocked?
Oh, I was completely shocked when I finally made the decision. And yeah, and I phoned up my Utah GM at the time. I was like, I can't believe I'm saying this. And I think she was just as surprised. But now that it's happened and I'm here, unfortunately, we're not training together yet, but just being here in Portland and knowing I'll be playing just down the road in front of all those supporters and for the city that I absolutely love. Like, I'm stoked.
Oh, mate, I cannot wait for that. And I will say, I love all teams equally in America. But one of the things I am most looking forward to post-pandemic, we will get through this, America. We will get through this. I'm so looking forward to coming into Portland and sitting in that stadium and just hearing that noise, hearing that joy. To me, it's a taste of everything that is great about the women's game in America and a sense of the future of what can be. One more football question from me before we descend into the mailbag of GFOP questions. And my Lord, we've got some beauties. Becky Sauerbrunn. I think about you, I think about Becky, and I think about Arsenal Football Club, sui generis. You chose them, they chose you. You're a big fan of the Gunners. I've got to ask you, what's it been like as an Arsenal fan and an incredible defender in your own right to watch the defensive stylings of Mustafi and Louise this season?
Oh, I mean, it's tough. It's extremely tough. And I think seeing the errors that they give up, and it's just like, it's so correctable, and it's just like, why does it keep happening again and again? And it's frustrating.
Are you a shouter? Do you shout at the television?
No, usually I'm just like,
I do think Arteta should sign you and Dolkemper.
I agree.
I mean, they're straight. There should be a share deal with the Thorns. Let's get to the GFOP questions. There's so many reasons. This one I love. There's so many reasons I admire you, Becky Sauerbrunn. So many. Your football obs. But also, you and I are a pair of introverts who, you know, have had to fight that all the bloody time. At Caitlin Sharp asks, Becky, you've described yourself as an introvert who struggled with confidence on the field when you were younger. What did you do to rebuild it? Was there a moment? Were there activities? Was there someone special, an individual that helped?
I mean, it's an ongoing process. Honestly, there are days where, you know, I'm on top of the world, and days where I'm just like, I can't even play soccer anymore. So it's for me, it's not getting too high and not getting too low, and just kind of riding that roller coaster. And it's tough, good days and bad days, but it's like, I work very hard. I train very hard. I take care of my body. And so a lot of my confidence comes from like preparation and knowing that I put in the work behind the scenes to be able to do what I do when I'm in front of the camera. And so, yeah, it's just tough. It's like, it shouldn't be like fairy dust, you know, it should always be there. But sometimes it feels kind of like you sprinkle it on one day and you don't have it the next.
Yeah, I mean, right now, America, all of us have highs, all of us have lows. It's part of pandemic life. In football, I have highs, I have lows. I've had 365 days of lows on the football field. But for you, it's almost become that tension, that fight between the highs and lows is what drives you, what propels you. You've almost embraced that friction and used it to drive you forward.
100%. I mean, I think one of the key phrases of my life is being comfortable with being uncomfortable, because my career, a lot of it is being uncomfortable, and you just have to embrace it and like feel the tension and feel the anxiety and acknowledge it, and then just be like, this is not constructive. So I'm going to put it behind me for right now.
Oh, America, words to live by. We had Alex Caruso on our show a couple of weeks ago. Just a wonderful human being, the embodiment of tenacity in the NBA as far as I'm concerned right now. And that was his conversation about working out how to be comfortable amongst the discomfort. It's never going to go away, but you almost embrace that to propel you onwards. Those to me, if I was watching this, that would be it. Words to live by. By the way, it's all going to descend into madness from here on in. At Georgia Suarez, if Becky could relive one single moment in her career, how would you choose? Meryl Streep, Sophie's Choice. Which one would it be and why? One moment.
If I had to choose just one moment, I would say it was when I actually got the email from the U.S. Women's National Team that I had been invited in to national team camp. I was in college. I think I just finished my eligibility.
Wow.
Studying for exams. I was on a crappy ass couch that my mom probably stole from the sidewalk. And I just got that email. And Zola, my boyfriend, he was there and just celebrating, just going absolutely crazy. And like having that like sense like, oh my gosh, like I get a chance at my dream. And I mean, honestly, like that feeling of just like this world is just opening in front of me. Like I would love to relive that.
That's an identity change in how you see yourself in that moment.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's always doubts. Like, do I have it? Do coaches think that I have it? And then to finally kind of get that, like, we like what you've got. Let's give you a shot.
Oh, America. And Greg Berhalter, I know you're watching. I'm here. I'm American. Come on, give me that pleasure. I don't ask for much in life. For God's sake. At Burn CIS says, the biggest game of your life. You have to save the world, Becky Sauerbrunn. She does that every time she bloody steps on the field, for God's sake. Have you not been watching? Who do you want in the back five, goalkeeper being the fifth? Any former or current US women's national team member allowed? Who would that five be?
Okay, I'm only going with past players, so I'm not even going to play with the current players because that's just a recipe for disaster. So,
diplomat, future American diplomat.
Okay.
Yeah,
for sure, Carla Overbeck.
Oh.
Joy Fawcett, Kate Margrath,
KM,
Brandy Chastain, and in goal, Bryce Gray.
Yes! Bryce Scurry, by the way, just a golden human wonder of American sporting history. For the record, I had down Becky Sauerbrunn and 4 Amy Lepelbes. That was my answer.
Yeah.
Give me 4 whatever the problem is, just throw 4 Amy Lepelbes at it. I promise you. It's like unplugging the back of a modem. I don't know how it works. It just works. Amy Lepelbes solve any problem. At AM Chamberlain 23, great question coming in. Becky, would you rather score an own goal that causes your team to lose a match 1-0 or just get thrashed, lose that match 5-0? What would feel worse to you at the final whistle?
I mean, I would rather in either of those situations be the reason that we lost the game. So if I had to score an own goal, but give my team still a chance to be in the game, I would do that. And I would take that terrible, terrible feeling with me.
You would?
Yeah. I mean, just because it's only 1-0 at that point or 2-1 or whatever. So like, there's a chance, but like, if we're getting our ass kicked, like we're just out of the game. And so I would score the own goal and then probably cry about it for a few weeks.
You wouldn't. Part of you would be psyched to score a goal.
No, not like that.
No. I'd bite your arm off to score a goal of any kind. It's a theme for you. At Boss Lily, next question. Becky, do you actually practice shooting for when the time finally comes for that goal?
Yeah, no, I shoot quite a bit. And especially when I'm training on my own, like I am doing shooting because a long ball is not that different from a shot. So I actually think I'm okay at shooting. I just need to get myself in a position closer to goal. I think that's the problem. Yeah,
I got to tell you, do you practice free kicks and crap in case, like, on the field, people like turn around and be like, "Who's going to take this one? This is a Becky situ."
I got it. I do. I'm terrible at free kicks. I will say that, but I do practice them.
You know, Tony Hibbert, an Everton defender, 265 games, cult hero for the club, over 18 years. 0 goals. Everton fans used to sing whenever he touched the ball, they'd shoot Tony Hibbert scores, we riot. To me, you are like Tony Hibbert, but you're actually good at football. That's the fundamental difference. At Georgina Grant 23, Becky, when you're playing league games, do you feel more competitive playing against your US women's national team teammates or less competitive because you're all mates?
I feel the same competing against my national team teammates as just playing against any NWSL player. So I don't think I go in any harder or any less hard because they're national team players. And so, I think everyone in the league and everyone on the national team, like everyone deserves the same focus and effort and energy.
Who are your great battles against in your mind? Who do you like look at that? Do you look at that schedule and be like, oh, that game?
Chicago. Anytime we play Chicago.
Why?
For whatever reason, every team that I've played on, the Chicago games have always been the battle where we don't pair up well against them. They obviously have really great players, special players. And so it's just that one team.
Oh, Roger steps up and just shows off his White Sox jacket.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. This question I love. Some context first. March 2019. Becky Sauerbrunn. Reason I love Becky, number 1,700,000,005. You wore a Ruth Bader Ginsburg name on the back of your jersey. The Supreme Court, founded in 1789. You all know that. This was the first time in its 230-year history a Supreme Court justice's name graced the back of a US team jersey. At Elizabeth P. Fixie wants to know, Becky, if Ruth Bader Ginsburg played soccer, what position would she play? What kind of a footballer would she be?
By the way, wonderful question. That's one of the best questions I've ever received. I would say that RBG would be a 6. So she'd be a sitting center midfielder so that she can join the attack. So she's very able to join the attack, but really she's just defending and
destroying.
Yes, she's destroying things. Like she destroys the opinions of, everyone in the court. So I would put her as a 6.
She's hurt.
Yeah, basically.
She loves the taste of blood in her own blood in her own mouth. She just taking names, just kicking ass all over the place.
Yes.
I love your vision of Ruth Bader Ginsburg. More like Ruth Bader Ginsburg. I hear that. I think she's an Arsenal youth player like Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain or Ashley Maitland-Niles. It's like those 3 names. It's like it starts bright and then it ends up at Everton and you don't quite know how that happened. To me, Ruth Bader Ginsburg is like Peter Cech, just an aging legend, just the giant of a game who should have retired like in 2015, but keeps going because, oh my God, their team needs them. Oh,
100%. I like
Ruth,
that.
RBG wearing that Supreme Court Justice wig and the Peter Cech helmet, America. And by the way, RBG, we know you're watching this. We wish you health. We wish you courage. We wish you strength. We know you're watching. We send you, Becky, we send the love, right?
All the love. All the love.
Alpine Addiction. Becky, after retirement, Alpine Addiction says, hopefully a long way off. Are you more interested in 1, coaching, 2, I like this option, owning a team? Yeah, no, I don't want to own a team. I don't want to have so much money that I can own a team. Okay, 1, coaching, 2, owning a team, or 3, never doing anything soccer related again for the rest of your life.
Okay, well, we can strike 3 because that's just not going to happen. I will be some way involved in the soccer world. I just love it too much.
America.
So coaching, like, it's intriguing to me, but it also seems so incredibly difficult. And especially when you get up to the professional teams and the national teams, like, that's a tough job. And so part of me is like, ooh, like, I feel like I could do well in that realm. I also think that, like, front office sounds kind of intriguing too. Like, I would love to put a team together. Like, being a GM would be like, that's pretty fascinating to me.
Oh, Becky Sauerbrunn to Everton. Let the rumors start now. I actually had slated that you'd casually just become US president. Becky actually told me that off the record. I wasn't meant to say it, but you know. At Tobin Swift. Becky, if you could be a character in any book, what book would that be? Oh, and who would it be? Who would you be historically in any book of all time ever?
That's so tough. Okay, so I'm going to go with my favorite series, The Golden Compass by Philip Pullman, and I'll go with the character Lyra Belloqua, just because she's a world beater, and she spends the books like fighting evil forces in her world, trying to bring them down. In the end, she's victorious, and so, yeah, I'm going to go with Lyra.
Oh, Hermione Granger meets Lisbeth Salander meets Arya Stark for me. At Basso Hannah. Becky, everyone looks at you. They look at you. Yeah, you casually win World Cups and all that. They look at you as like a cultural icon. Half the questions we got were just like, what books is Becky reading? What movies is she watching? At Basso Hannah says, favorite movie all time. Boom.
Okay. Shawshank Redemption. Talk about a movie that just encapsulates like staying hopeful. And I mean, how relevant is that right now? Just hope. Like the whole movie ends with him saying hope. Perfect.
God, I didn't know you were allowed to pick a movie that doesn't have Tom Hanks in it.
I know.
That's controversial. Yeah. I actually think there should be a remake of Bend It Like Beckham called Bend It Like Becky. I gave this a lot of thought this afternoon while I was having
Sounds like it.
I was having a pre-game drink. Bend It Like Becky. Anyone can cook aloo gobi, but who can bend the ball like Becky? Angel Hannon says, Freaky Friday happens. See, culture. Choose one player, past or present, Becky, to switch lives / bodies with for a day and why. God, these questions are great.
Whoa. Okay, so soccer player?
Legally, it just says switch one player, past or present. It could be any player you would like. Gary player. It could be any player.
Whoa.
But let's say a soccer player.
I mean, if I stay with women, I would say, like, I would love to know what it felt like to be like Mia Hamm at the height of her powers. Like, talk about a world beater. That would be very, very interesting to inhabit that world. And then if I chose a dude, I would probably choose Paolo Maldini at the height of his power, and just like to be in a country where like soccer's it, and to be like the head of that back line, just like cruising through the World Cup. I mean, that would be really cool too.
Oh, Alexi Lalas thought that was him. I'm living in a country where soccer's it. I'm cruising through it. But the honest truth is, don't choose a man. Becky, you take it from me. You do not want to be a man. If I could be anybody, I would be Ali Krieger. Tenacity personified. Krieg's authentically cool in every way. Now we're getting to people. Humanly, deeply inspirational, and we need that kind of inspiration right now. The brilliant at Mo S. O'Hara, back from last week with her question, which broke the internet, and I'm using that loosely. You can't forget about this one. Becky, You get into a bar fight, as you do. That's why you left Utah. You're like Michael Jordan. People don't quite understand why things happen. The story's never told. I'm just saying, you get into a bar fight. What three teammates do you bring with you to back you up? This is going places, this question.
Okay. Well, I bring Kelly because she's a little crazy, as I'm sure you know. And you always need a little bit of crazy with you in a fight because you want to intimidate the other people. I bring JJ.
You think that's a knife? This is a knife. Kelly.
I bring JJ because she's just an enforcer, and then Alyssa because that girl is one of the toughest women I have ever had the privilege to play with. And
is that
so
true?
I would love to have her by my side. Oh, she's just like a freak of nature, like so fit, so strong, so like strong-willed, and like she's so impressive. So like I would for sure have her too.
Oh, sports just as a pastime to get yourself into bar fights. Mine were Ashlyn Harris, who I just imagine just picking up the ball. She knows to, in a bar fight, to not use the pool cues, but to use the balls. That's the secret. Julie Ertz just loves. She's like Begbie in Train Spotting, just smashing glasses, taking names. I actually said you. This is what I said. And we had a long conversation about this. I was like, Sauerbrunn is like that is next level madness. That is just like, I mean, just like in a movie, you're just like, oh, it's not my first game in life, you spoony. GFOP Ely Sutton wants some follow-up. Kelly actually said you, Becky, would actually end the bar fight with your stare. Is this true? What stare is this?
I've only like just come into this realization that I have a stare that like will silence anybody, but I don't say a lot. And so I guess everything that I'm saying comes through in like laser eyeballs. And
God,
it's just
your arm
like
off for laser eyeballs.
Frustrated, disappointment. Like, I don't want to be like, that wasn't good enough, you know? So I'm just going to look at you and like, hope that you can tell from my eyeballs, I guess. And I need to know how to wield it better. It's a weapon that I just need to be like, you know, very careful of using.
America needs this weapon. We really do. We need to. What stare is this? Just there's a lot of young viewers watch. Holy crap! I mean,
I know, right? It's strong.
I can feel my retinas burning. Is the honest truth.
I know.
Tyra Banks, fierce man. By the way, I always admire someone who can end the fight without flinging a punch. That is truly a genius. Hope Solo, take note. Let's close with a bit of meaning. A great question from last week. Becky, who would you have? Which four on your US women's national team, all-time Mount Rushmore? Heads up, Kelly O'Hara had you up there. Just saying.
Whoa, she clearly had too many buds. My Mount Rushmore. Ooh, okay. Mia Hamm's up there.
Yeah, Ham.
Abby Wambach's up there.
The W.
Megan Rapinoe.
Oh, interesting.
Christine Lilly.
Wow! Why the Lily? I had the Akers in there.
Well, yeah, I mean, Akers definitely is probably a very close fifth.
Slap them
Lily,
all up.
She's the all-time appearing athlete for soccer. Like, I think for men's and women's, like she's just like to have that longevity and to be relevant on every team that she's played on throughout all those years. Like, you have to be special.
I think we're going to have to get a bigger boat. You know, who says it just has to be fought? Is the honest. And you also said, just with your look, you didn't say it with words, but you also said Kelly O'Hara. I'm just making nice. Angel Hannon, again, God, you slipped two questions in, Angel Hannon. You can come as a producer as the Men in Blazers show when you're done. And the question is, Becky, please can you choose my senior quote? This question I love. There's so many graduates right now from high schools across America. So many of you are being denied the life ritual, you know, of graduating, of bringing your family together, having closure with your friends, just having a moment that forever will be burnt to your collective memories. It is a time I raise my glass to you and I say, I feel your pain. I genuinely do. This is something you won't get back. I do believe that it will make you a better person in the long term. You will feel that pain and use it for the power of good. But Becky, I mean, see, if you were to words of wisdom right now for great moment, what would you say? Oh, too much for Becky. It was too much. That wisdom was too much for Becky. Let's have a look. Can we do this? Are we going to get to this moment of just next level crap?
Oh my gosh,
Oh,
I got kicked off during the most important part
I know!
of this whole thing.
America needs to know. They don't need this. They need this. They don't need this. Come on, Becky. America. Floor's yours.
Okay, so what my quote would be, or what my advice would be?
Both.
Okay, so yes, this is a very terrible, terrible time that we're all going through, especially for those that are graduating. I would ask that people keep in mind that like there are terrible things happening in this world, and people are losing their lives, and they're worried about paying their mortgage or keeping their lights on. And so missing your graduation or not being able to have your graduation party, like, yeah, that sucks. I'm sorry. But there are bigger things happening, and I would ask and plead for empathy for those that are not in a good place right now. And so, yes, like I think there will be a time when everyone will be able to come back together and to celebrate. And yes, graduation is important. I think living is more important. And so I would just ask for that empathy. And so if I had to choose a quote, I would choose something that's like, c'est la vie, like so is life. You deal with things as they come, and you do the best that you can, and that you hope that you come out the other side better.
I mean, I do think what you said at the top, life is full of highs, life is full of lows, and it's how you tackle them and enshrine them. I also think like this class, which I think about a lot, because my mother always says everybody's toothache hurts the most. And so people's pain, if you're feeling pain, the most important thing is to articulate it. If you're watching this, articulate it, let it out, talk to people, don't keep it in. And you can feel pain that you're not graduating. It's nothing to be ashamed of. And I do believe, think about when you come out the other side of this. Think about the world, the taste of things, the look of things you took for granted that you won't take for granted again. And just the thought of a life that we will all live. We will get through this, Becky. We will see you take the field in the Olympics. We will see you, cleaning up. Please God for Ruth Ginsburg, Bader Ginsburg in the number 6 role, which I'm quite taken with. And if I was Black Cow, I'd be probably thinking about that one seriously over the next couple of days about my Olympic squad. If I can get RBG into that 18. I mean, the question is really, like, what are you going to do, America, in the wake of this thing? We will get through it. How is this going to change you? How will you harness your challenge? As you, Becky, have harnessed some of the challenges that you faced and use them to be greater. Last question, can you make the case for optimism for us? You are an incredible human being. We have all watched you bring joy to our lives, meaning to our lives. You did those things. We just watched you. So in this moment of chaos and challenge and just darkness, make the case for optimism and for hope for us. I'm going to give you the last word, Becky. The floor is yours.
My case for optimism is that terrible things are happening. And for me, seeing how people have protected and helped and aid others. I mean, this is a pandemic where you're not just taking care of yourself, you're taking care of the people around you by doing the right and smart thing and staying home and practicing social distancing and all the right precautions. And so for me, like me staying home and being so appreciative of all the essential workers, of all the healthcare workers, and all those people that are putting their lives on the line to keep us safe, all the people that are doing the right thing so that we can all get through this. For me, that's hope. Like knowing so many people are doing things that will help others. And I think being selfless, that's what's making me have hope and optimism that we're going to get through this.
Oh, Becky, be a Becky Sauerbrunn, America. And National Nurses Week, I raise my glass to each and every one of you, not just the nurses. You're all unbelievable fighting a challenge none of you really signed up for. The doctors, everyone that works in the medical world, every essential worker. God, I've got to tell you, part of my heart is just welling right now to think about you. Becky Sauerbrunn, the whole goal of this Bud Happy Hour is to just spend time with someone who makes America feel better after listening to them than they did before. You have done that and then some. I raise my bud in joy and tribute to you, to life, to love, to your thorns, to Zola, a gorgeous, gorgeous ball. Oh, to America. We will be back next Wednesday on Instagram Live for some more NWSL action. Until then, Bud Fam, Blood Fam, say courage. And what's up? Oh, Becky, we did it. Technology. F you. Courage.